Does the price of retro games get affected positively or negatively by its release on Virtual Console?
Yes and no. It really depends on what it is, and I'll use 2 examples that I think. I'll use 3. It really depends on the type of game it is and how people view it as a collectible. When Marvel vs. Capcom 2 was still being played heavily in tournaments, and the only ways you could get it were Dreamcast, PlayStation 2, and Xbox, that game became quite expensive. I don't remember what it topped out at roughly on eBay, but I know that the game had reached like
60, 70, 80 used?
80. I was going to say somewhere between 60 and 100 is probably where I'd say it was probably at for a long time.
Oh, which console was it harder to get on? I think it was Xbox. It was harder to get on, the original
Yeah,
Xbox?
but the I think universally the best version was claimed to be the Dreamcast version, and if I'm not mistaken, the Dreamcast code is actually what was used in the digital re-release because it was considered the best. So what happens then is this game climbs to very, very high numbers because people want to play it desperately. It's being played in tournaments. It's a fun game, so people want to get their hands on it. However, I don't think a lot of those people looked at it as a collectible. These were people who wanted to play it, to practice, and to get good with their friends. So it's no longer available as a digital download. But when it became available as a digital download, the price on that game dropped to about $25.
Mm-hmm.
With the Dreamcast version still holding, probably the only one that held some sort of collectible aspect at maybe like 40. Now that the digital download is no longer available due to licensing stuff, we have started to see a slow creep upwards, but now people have kind of moved on to other games. So in that instance, yeah, it affects it hugely. But then there are games that people view as hugely collectible or hugely desirable to own in their physical versions. And the example I'm going to use here is obviously Earthbound. There is a digital re-release of Earthbound on the Wii U. It's $10. It's great. Go buy it if you want to play the game. It has not, in any meaningful way, affected the value of Earthbound carts or anything of the sort. Why? Because the people who are really into it don't want a digital copy. They want a physical copy, and they will go out and they'll find it.
I could be a weird exception just because Earthbound fans are more, I want to say, cultish.
I don't know. There were expensive Turbo games that got re-releases that it didn't affect their value. Like certain things that collectors want, and it is going to be. You're not entirely wrong. It is going to be cult hits, but it's not going to affect those.
I'm looking at some of the Earthbound prices now because I think that did cap it though, because that was going up over $250.
Well, capping it is different than dropping the price. I think the cap was happening naturally.
Sure, but now it's like a $200 game. It looks like.
Yeah, that dude.
Or a little bit lower on open auction.
We've been selling it, I think, for $180 for 3 years, so it hasn't changed.
Sure.
It has not changed since the Virtual Console re-release.
160 buy it now, 214 buy it now, 165. 165 open auction, 178.
Suikoden 2 has not really dropped in price since the digital re-release of that on PSN. These are examples of games that collectors prize and they want to hold, and yes, they are largely RPGs. So, yeah, I mean, it can go both ways. And then there are times where it affects it negligibly or not at all. All of Nintendo's re-release, like Virtual Console releases, have barely affected the value of the games.
So people just like physical media. They like the original.
Well, for an example, a $5 digital download of fucking Super Mario Brothers, someone's going to go out and buy that cart for $7, $10. And it is rising a little bit. They are getting a little bit. I'm just saying I don't have 55 of them anymore. I have about 10 in stock at any given time. Whoa. But I'm just saying someone's not going to pay $5 for Mario when they can basically go out and get a physical copy of it for $5.
Well, that's when it's the same price though. This is when Suikoden 2 though is like a $130 game versus.
Well, I'm just saying. Okay, so look at it like Super Mario Brothers is 10. People will pay a little bit more to get the physical copy. It's not going to necessarily affect it.
Sure. So it didn't happen when Danny Sullivan's In the Heat came out though. I think the price, maybe people want the cartridge more, just went skyrocketing. People discover the greatness of Danny.